spawning in the bottom left position as our red Protoss player coming in for Karont3 Esports Club. It is viPro. And spawning in the top right position as our blue Terran player coming in for MVP, it is Bang. So another Terran versus Protoss to get things rolling here with the Acer TeamStory Cup. Of course, we have our group stage. We have plenty more matches coming at you guys. Notably to look forward to, we have actually had to reschedule. If you guys were trying to tune in yesterday to our... I believe it was Root versus Liquid, if I recall. I was talking to the Root guys about it. The match had to be postponed due to some maintenance on the North American server. Of course, since we do have European players and Korean players, it's only fair for them to be playing on an in-between server, that being North America. So we will have a couple of match reschedules, but getting underway here now, we do have a barracks opening from Bang. Nothing terribly unusual. The gas will tell a little bit of a different story, though. Being also put down at 12 supply. It's going to be a very quick Reaper for Bang. This is a pretty standard, especially on this map, kind of known for some good Reaper play in TvT in Wings of Liberty just because of the cliffs. But viPro not doing anything unusual on his own. He's going to send a probe out to scout after the gateway. No wall off for Bang does mean that viPro will be able to scout this out pretty quickly, and Bang's actually going to send an SCV to scout anyway. So with this barracks completing shortly, we're very likely going to see Reaper come out here. The probe is going to come in here and be able to scout this. So in terms of what he knows, he can say, okay, well, I'm going to need a stalker, obviously. Cybernetics Core will start, and so does this Reaper. No second supply to put yet. There it is for Bang. Not want to get blocked at all, and viPro wants to keep his probe here. He basically just wants to see, is it a Marine that's coming out? Is it a Reaper? It's important for me to know whether or not you're getting a factory. He kind of says, okay, well, our Marine would have been done by now, and it would have. Marines only take about 25 seconds to build, guys, so pretty good check there by viPro. Knows it's a Reaper coming, so he's going to get a Zealot to make sure he can expand. He's actually going for a single gas opener, which is kind of slowly but surely falling out of popularity. Interestingly enough, and there that Stalker is now being chrono boosted out by viPro. He is going to basically try to keep Bang from doing anything disruptive towards any kind of economic play. SCV for Bang does kind of scatter around. He kind of knows what's up. With no Zealot, he could try to block the expansion, but he will choose not to instead. And now the Reaper's going to come in for Bang, but at the same time, the Stalker is about to complete. He might be able to do a little bit of poking on this probe. However, viPro will be able to shove him off for now. So Bang actually hasn't learned much of anything. All he knows is that viPro has gone for this economic build, and this gives Bang a couple of concessions he can take advantage of. Namely, being putting this command center on the low ground, and the Reaper taking a bit of paint damage. Of course, those jetpacks do heal themselves. So factory coming up next for Bang, and he could be trying to go for just a standard 1-1-1 out of this. Getting ready to amp up the aggression. We saw some builds like this actually out of Prison, if I recall, in the DreamHack Open Stockholm that was just recently played. So could be an interesting timing coming up. And now the Reaper is running around, just trying to make sure he has full knowledge of everything that's going on. There's no tech building yet for viPro, something that Bang, not really too much information to take advantage of, since he does see the Mothership Core and the 2 Stalkers. He knows that with an expansion in this kind of setup, he doesn't have to worry about a very fast robotics play, but 2 gateways being added on by viPro, and this is lining up kind of well with his expansion. A little bit unusual to go for these gateways instead of the robotics facility. viPro will be looking to put on a bit of aggression, it seems, but no probe actually on the field yet to place a proxy pylon, so it's just a little interesting to see him forego any kind of fast robotech. He could be fearing a very fast attack, but even the attack with Widow Mines, he's going to be very cautious. Ooh, that Stalker barely stepping in range. We'll be able to step out just in the nick of time, but now we do have the robotics facility coming in for viPro, and this is kind of what he needs basically to deal with this fast mine play. Medevac is on the way as well for Bang. He has a mine. Second mine is about to complete at his factory. So he'll have an option to be aggressive with this, but now trying to press forward here, he's just Bang just going for a bit of a straight up forward aggression with this clump of Marines, trying to keep this Widowmine as well, bringing the weakened Marines to the back, and he's just trying to put on a tiny bit of a contain here, prevent viPro from being able to scout. And by keeping the Stalkers inside of viPro's main base, he's not going to be able to kind of check for any movements of Bang. He won't be able to see if there's a fast third base or really the tech path that he's going for until he has an observer on the field. But well, Bang's going to just throw down, looks like 2 additional barracks, get his tech labs off of his starport and his factory, and move into a regular bio play. This is pretty typical for TvP. Oftentimes we do see, though, that this kind of opener would come out of a gas being taken at 15 supply rather than 12. Bang wanted to be super cautious with the Reaper Scout, now going to take some additional gas. And this is a pretty normal game so far. Bang's going to come back up into the natural, though. Photon Overcharge will be activated, so he does get a tiny bit of a score there. The medevac trying to run into the main, but the Stalkers have been able to shove it away for the time being, not able to get even unloading those Marines. And Bang, he's trying to find a hole to put some pressure in. The Mothership Core doesn't actually have enough energy to use a second Photon Overcharge, so loading these units up into the main base could do a lot of damage. He does have the Widowmine here as well. Robotics Facility is coming in, but nothing just yet. The medevac does get targeted down. Bang has no option for retreat here. He has 2 Widowmines. He's going to scan and kill the Observer, and now he'll be able to use the Widowmines a little bit more effectively. Some force fields go down on top of them, but those mines are still standing, and ooh, another Observer will be able to allow him to just kill those. And these Marines, Bang trying to get in a little bit of damage, wants to make these Marines at least worth something, but viPro's just going to run these observers around like it's a track, pretty much, saying, hey, chase me, Marines. And he's going to run to the natural. Sentry says, nope, you're stuck in here forever. Does another scan and kills the observer. So this is kind of an interesting play by Bang. You know, the timing of his biopressure has actually prevented viPro from scouting him. He's burned 2 observers, does not actually know what Bang has in his main, and well, viPro's now getting up a Colossus. And this is just... It's unusual because viPro has been forced to play completely blind just because of Bang's aggression. That's not to say, however, that Bang did a very effective amount of aggression. In fact, he only managed to kill 3 probes so far at the cost of a medevac and about 10 Marines and 2 Widowmines. So he's not put himself in a great position. He's also kind of harassed himself a tiny bit with these supply blocks, really slowing down his production. But he does have both gas pretty quick on his natural expansion. You know, possibly just going to move straight into medevacs, and they are on the way. Stim, Combat Shield, going to be wrapping up soon. He has a sizable chunk of bio, and an observer is finally able to do a little bit of scouting for viPro. He finally sees what's going on, but he knows there's a third base on the way for Bang, which means that if viPro really wanted to, he could try to take a third base, or he could try to go for a lot of aggression, especially since the third is being built there. A second Colossus is coming out for viPro, but interestingly enough, he actually hasn't gotten any thermal lance, so no range on the Colossus. This could be a bit of a mistake here if he's trying to go for 2 Colossi. Oftentimes we'd see a player with this Twilight Council just switch straight into Templar, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. He's going to start his charge upgrade. Colossi with no charge, though. Very interesting setup. viPro doesn't actually have too much firepower here at all. The second Colossus is going to be able to help fix that issue, but I mean, Bang could click on the Colossus and see that there's no range, even though there's 2. He's going to jump right into the main base. There are a couple of Stalkers and Zealots here, but the Colossus adding in some additional pressure from the side. Stim is now complete. +1 attack is about to finish up as well for our MVP Terran player, but the Observer, viPro, he knows, he sees everything about the army positioning. He'll be able to check if there's a drop coming. And, ooh, some good force fields. He's going to use these Colossi, pick off a couple of Marauders, and that's not bad at all. So he has some good resources being lost here, and gets another pretty solid force field, just pinching in a few more of these units. And it may not seem like a lot, it's just a handful of units, but over time that will add up. And looking at the resources lost tab, it's already starting to really favor viPro. He's not done anything fancy this game. In fact, he just kind of sat at home and just kind of done his thing. But Bang, all this aggression so far, not paying off at all for him. He's going to get an armory up now, be able to move into his +2 attack, +1 armor upgrades, which is completely fine. But I mean, if we look at the builds that we have set up here, the 2-2 is going to be done very soon for viPro. He's getting this third Nexus, and the only thing that's slightly interesting is no Templar Archives at all. He's not going for any kind of tech off of his Twilight Council, just charge. He's getting now his extended thermal lance, so it's a bit late, but since he wasn't looking to be aggressive, it's not as big of a deal. He could be looking to go for a bit of harass, though. We'll be able to pick off an observer there. You have a pylon on the top right area of the field for viPro, possibly for some proxy zealots to be warped in, try to do some damage. And man, a really fast 3-3 here from viPro, and this is just kind of the focus of his build. He delayed the extended thermal lance. He delayed a lot of things just to get up this 3-3, and this is going to be actually a really nice timing if viPro just gets a couple of probes here at his third base and just moves straight out once he gets his 3-3. He could do a lot of damage, possibly even before the +2 attack is done for Bang, and it can actually be really, really big. He's getting a lot of charge lots, of course, a very meaty component to this composition, and when you're ahead on upgrades, charge lots are so good. Just tanking so much damage. They have quite a bit of hit points, and well, Twilight counts. Templar Archives is finally coming, and we do have Viking production just starting, and a Ghost Academy about to finish for Bang. So he's got all his bases covered. He's got the 3-base economy. He's looking pretty damn solid in all due respect, but his supply very close to viPro. His upgrades not quite on par, and you know, his +2 attack, it's about a minute away from completing, but so is viPro's +3, and if he continues to chrono boost this, he's going to find himself in a really sick position to hit a nice 3-3 timing. And Bang is trying to dance around the map, trying to find an opening. The Vikings actually going to be able to get in here and pick off a Colossus for free. The Stalkers are not in position. If he can get the second Colossus, that would be absolutely huge. Solo, oh my god, he just gets 2 free Colossi, and now Bang says, hey man, that is too good of an offer to refuse. But the 2-2 charge lots really starting to shove this Bioforce back. He's getting such a good engagement here. Some force fields are going to go down, but this is actually going to help Bang for the most part, keeping the Zealots off of him, but maybe possibly delaying his push. We do have some Zealots being warped in, trying to run into the natural expansion to kill some SCVs. viPro has killed about 7 so far this game, not terrible. Bang's killed 5 probes. Economic damage does look to be about even, but of course he does have those mules. I have to say the pylon coverage for viPro looking very solid, covering a lot of drop paths and as well as just some open space on the field. And 5 ghosts about to come out for Bang. Man, he is just macroing up like a monster now. Hit a couple of supply blocks earlier on, but this force from viPro, he has Archons, but he doesn't have any Colossi. There's still 6 Vikings on the field for Bang, so he is totally ready for any kind of follow-up in that form. And viPro doing the best thing he can. He's just going to take a 4th base. If he can get away with this, it could end up paying off in big dividends, but now the Archon Charge Lot Force is coming up. It has the +3, +2 attack is done for Bang. He actually can't take this fight. There's so many ghosts. He can just EMP all of this. He's going to immediately clip away one of those Archons at the same time. Going to go for a bit of a counterattack, but there's a bunker here with some Marines and a Ghost in it. He'll pick that Zealot off, no problemo. And Bang's looking pretty solid. He's maxed out. He's got a good number of Ghosts and a pretty solid number of Vikings to boot. In all honesty, it doesn't really look like viPro has much of a room to attack here, especially without any Storm. He's going to try to engage down this ramp. Force fields could be critical here, but these Zealots really just getting laid to waste. And Bang getting some really nice engagements. Just picking apart tons of these units. Sentries going down for free. The Templar moving in, though. The Storms are dropping, doing a lot of damage to Bang's Bioforces. Great dodge there on the left side from Bang's Bio, but it does look like he will be able to punch through what viPro has. A couple of charge lots trying to warp in to reinforce this, but Bang, keeping a commanding supply lead of about 40 here, is doing so much damage to the army, and this 4th base for viPro is looking very juicy right now. He does have enough resources to go for another big warping. He has a couple charge lots ready. He has another Colossus on the field, and he does have access to the Photon Overcharge. He actually has enough energy for 2 of them on this Mothership Core, which means it could be a Photon Overcharge and a Time Warp. And that's going to make defending this 4th a lot easier, but here comes Bang. Is he going to be able to defend this base? There's no Storms. He has a couple Templar waiting for the energy. There's just a single Viking poking away at the Colossus. There's not much anti-air. Time Warp will go down and slow a couple of these Ghosts. Ooh, looks like, oh, he's going to be able to pick 2 of them off. A great catch there for viPro. He's actually, he's moving his observer on. He sees what's up. 4th base is going to land very soon for Bang, but the longer viPro has this base, I mean, the better position he's going to be in as the game progresses, especially with the supply deficit. And now a Dark Shrine from viPro. This is where things get a little bit interesting. He wants to try to go for a lot of damage. Actually, just noticed one of these gas geysers missing 2 probes of saturation, which is pretty significant when you look at the overall economy of viPro. But could be trying to force an engagement here. He's got a couple more Vikings out though. Throws down the scan, is able to pick off the observer. There's actually no detection here, so once the cloak finishes these ghosts in about 10 seconds, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage. But here he comes, throwing the EMPs. The Archons immediately dissolving behind this wall of bullets. The Vikings having the Colossi baited into them, and now Bang looking very strong. He's going to push in towards that 4th base, it looks like. The Mothership Core does not have any energy left to use all of it on the Time Warps, and now Bang is pressing in towards the 4th, stutter stepping, trying to do as much damage as possible. He's killed off all of the Colossi. It's just Zealots and Stalkers, and now Probes being chewed apart in this hail of bullets. Bang looking so sharp right now, taking out the rest of these units. And a big Zealot warp incoming. Bang looks like he might try to sight the Colossus, but there's a GG, and Bang takes game number 1 here in this best of 9 series between MVP and Karont3 Esports Club. So not a bad play at all. Bang just didn't do he didn't do anything really crazy. His early aggression got him nothing, but really strong macro the later that the game went on, and just honestly, when he pushed in towards the 3rd base of viPro, and viPro, you know, he had a good number of Zealots, like, you know, I was talking about. He had a good meaty composition, but the problem with that is he invested all of his gas into those fast upgrades, and he didn't invest much of his any leftover minerals went to Zealots, so he didn't really have any in-between mixture to throw towards Stalkers, and because of that, those Vikings were able to just dive in and kill a lot of those Colossi for free. So just a bit of a misstep, but well, we'll have to see who is going to come out next for Karont3 Esports Club. This is the Acer TeamStory Cup, and I am your English caster for today, Nathanias. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll get you guys to the next game as soon as we can. And ahead of time, I'm so tired and out of it, so I really apologize if I drop the ball at all on any of this, but do my best for you guys, and we'll get to the next game ASAP.